Hi, I've been researching crop circles and ET interaction with the Earth for about 5 years now, and there's so much nonsense spoken about crop circles that I thought I'd make a quick YouTube video to present the case for them being messages from extraterrestrial people, which not many people ever seem to really want to admit that that's probably what they are. Everyone likes to sort of beat around the bush and say, "Oh well, we don't know what they are. We don't know what they are. Isn't it a mystery?" etc. But basically, if you put together a few important points, it paints a very interesting picture. Anyway, I mentioned in my last video the Milk Hill crop circle, which is here. Now, just take a look at that and then just have a little look in the middle, see if you can spot the people. There they are, those little dots. And have a look at just how complex that geometry is. And it's perfect. The only reason one might not look perfect is because the photo was taken at an angle. But if you were floating directly above that, you'd see that all the circles are perfect and all the geometry is perfect. Which is another amazing thing about crop circles, because if you have very often the field will have a slope to it. It might have an incline. And from above, if you look down, you'll see a perfect circle. But obviously, if you were in the field making it, that would have to be an oval. So if you can imagine trying to make something that looks like this out of ovals which actually look like circles from the sky in the middle of the night, of course. I don't think people can do things like that, really, can they, if you think about it? What these show is that a form of very obviously peaceful contact is being made with human beings. It's obviously peaceful because they're drawing pretty pictures that show what's commonly referred to as sacred geometry. Shapes that show the harmony and beauty of nature and mathematical information that's encoded in natural shapes. I mean, if you think about it, it's a very intelligent way of making contact, because people say, "Oh, why aren't they going to just land on the White House lawn and and talk to everyone?" Well, the fact is that for years and years now, the military of the world, particularly in America and UK and Europe, have been, well, everywhere actually, and South Africa, have been chasing them every time they, if they do come down, they chase them around, they shoot at them, they try and shoot them down. So this is a very sophisticated way of making contact with us, because whilst it could still be kind of dismissed by basically ignorant, stupid people, who can just laugh and say, "Oh yes, it's made by Doug and Dave in a field with a piece of wood and a piece of rope. Of course it is." Those kind of people can still go to bed at night without having a nervous breakdown over it. Whereas, of course, if the aliens, well, I don't really like to call them aliens, if the extraterrestrial people were to just come down and, take over the TV or something, all those people would just have a sort of psychotic nervous breakdown, and people would start killing themselves and stuff, probably. So it's a very clever, peaceful way of making contact and showing the people of the Earth that they are here and they're watching what goes on the Earth, and just kind of letting us know that they're here. For any of you who haven't seen the Disclosure Project, you should watch the Disclosure Project, the video. Because on that video is a very old gentleman who's, I think he's getting close to his 90s or something. He's a very old man, and his job was to be the safety inspector of the nuclear missile installations in America. And he says, without any kind of qualms, he states that back in the 50s, I think he said, they tried to send a nuclear weapon up into space to blow it up on the moon for a test to see what would happen. And the extraterrestrial people stopped them from doing that. So it's quite clear that ever since we invented nuclear weapons, that the galactic community has obviously been very interested in what are these funny little monkey people doing on this planet, messing with this technology, trying to send it out into space. And I believe that it's not kind of crazy really to think that, seeing as there are millions and millions of stars, billions of stars, and even scientists are admitting these days that they're finding solar systems with Earth-like planets. I think they're finding them every month now. That if there was a community of advanced civilizations in our galaxy, that they would probably have some kind of galactic law, wouldn't they? Like us, like the United Nations. And no doubt, if they were that advanced that they could actually get to the Earth, which means they've got serious technology, yeah. Not like these stupid Hollywood movies where they try and make out that aliens are going to fly all the way here with faster than light travel technology, and then they're going to come down and start killing us all and trying to eat us and stuff. I mean, come on. If you've got that kind of technology, you can do interstellar travel, then that means you have complete control over energy and matter. You could easily just create food, from energy. You wouldn't have to go and mine gold or get food or anything. You could just create elements out of carbon. You could create anything you wanted just with pure energy and carbon. So anyway, that was the first thing. And then the other point is that the military have been seen chasing people away from these crop circles in areas where they do military training activities, but that is not part of their agenda. Well, they shouldn't be part of their normal training, that they fly down at people very close and scare them away and shine lights at them, which has happened a few times. So if you put this together, okay, the military are chasing people away from them. On the television, we're being told by people like Stephen Fry and the BBC QI programme that they're all hoaxes and they're made in the middle of the night. And in the media, the famous Doug and Dave story, one of whom has died since, so it's just Doug now, apparently does all these by himself. That was obviously a lie. And then you have the famous Chibolton crop circle, which appeared next to a massive radio telescope. And this guy called Darcy Ladd came out on the television and said, oh yes, this was just made by people, this was a hoax. Well, that thing is a serious bit of equipment, that telescope, and I'm pretty sure that it's surrounded by security cameras and must have some kind of security team around the clock, doesn't it? Why didn't they see anyone making it if it was made by people? So anyway, I'm reaching my 10-minute limit of this video. Just have a think about that and think about, are they, well, it makes me feel a little bit safer to think that, I think if they do try and blow up the world with nuclear weapons, I think these guys are going to come and stop them. But they might try to have a fake alien invasion war, so watch out for that. Oh, okay, I've gone over my 10 minutes. Maybe I'm allowed to have more than 10 minutes. That's an important point. The New World Order government knows that these alien ET people are out there and that they're basically powerless to stop them. So that's why you get all these Hollywood movies telling us that they're going to come and try and invade, because they know that basically if they were to come down, they'd be screwed basically. So they want people to think that the ETs are nasty creatures that are going to try and kill us. If you think about it, they wouldn't have been coming here making 200 odd messages, contact messages to us every year for the last 10 years or so, if their intentions were to invade us and kill us all, would they? So when you, if ever, I hope this isn't going to happen, but if you ever do hear that there's these sort of evil ETs coming down trying to kill us all, you'll know that you're being lied to. And it could well happen that they actually, on Earth, there are, militaries that have similar looking technology, things that people might think are alien spacecraft, but actually they're just made by people. And they could go around the world trying to, attack people, try and pretend that it's an alien invasion, but hopefully that won't happen. Apparently Werner von Braun, the NASA rocket scientists, actually told a member of his staff that that was what they were planning on doing at some point in the future, to take over the world's military. So hopefully it's not going to come to that. The other positive thing is that just by looking at the crop circles affects your consciousness. So you don't need to understand necessarily what they mean, I don't think, because a lot of people, they think, oh, what does it mean? What does it mean? But I think that the symbols themselves, the symbols go into your mind, into your subconscious, and they stay there. So they affect you without you thinking about it. And the good thing is that all these military commanders and people like that are all looking at these, and they must have a room somewhere with them all on the wall, wondering what on earth they are. And it must be affecting their consciousness as well without them realizing it, which is nice. The more people that look at these, I got these cards recently actually. These are quite nice. These are called the Keys of the Arcturians. A bit of free promotion there. I didn't make them. But they've got meanings and things, like they're trying to make it into a tarot thing, which I think is stupid. But basically, I don't think the tarot is stupid, by the way, but I think making cards and saying this means this love and this means harmony is kind of pointless. But you've got the image on there, and I like to just look at these basically. And of course the real ones, like this one, that's a great one as well. These things are affecting us, and I think as we move into sort of next step of human evolution, it's very significant that this is happening now. And these kind of people that want to go around the world creating wars and misery and suffering, those people have to leave this planet now. People like George Bush, Larry Silverstein, all those kind of people, Dick Cheney, they just have to go. And they will. Okay. Good night.